Hello, I'm Makshi Kumawat.
Hello, I'm Dhruvi.
We are secretaries of the Career Development Wing, Academics and Career Council, IIT Kanpur.
Today we present the first podcast in the series, the interview insights in the domain of quant.
Today, we have here with us Tushar, who's currently working as a graduate quant researcher at Da Vinci Derivatives.
Hello Tushar, and without any further ado, we begin the talk.
Beginning with the podcast, we will start with the first stage of the interview process, which is the online test. What were the format and the areas of focus for the online test for the domain of quant?
For Quant or Da Vinci, like Quant in general or just Da Vinci?
Like both, like other quant companies which you gave interview for.
So for most of the Indian HFCs, the questions were basically like there were DSA questions, I think, and there were puzzles also. For Graviton, I remember that there were six tough probability puzzles, and for the software role, I think there were competitive programming questions. I think OS questions also, and CS220 questions as well. For the Da Vinci online test which I gave, there were there were two small tests of 12 minutes each. So one test had 36 questions. It had mental math questions, and the other test had I think logical reasoning sort of questions, and it had I think 20 questions or 12 minutes again. Yeah.
Okay, so when did your placement day start? Like, what is the usual timeline of the placement season? How early did you start preparing for that, for the placement season?
Yeah, so I think I started preparing for my placement season immediately after the intern was over, and I think the placement season started the beginning of October after the midterm. Though companies started coming mid-October, I would say. Yeah.
So, like, you prepared for around 6 months, if I'm not wrong. So, like, you started preparation quite early, like, which is important, I think, because like there are different aspects of the preparation process, like just coding, HR interview. So, like, what was the major focus of your preparation? Like, what did you focus majorly on? Which aspect?
Yeah, so for the content software portion, I focused primarily on coding firstly, coding, and for the quant, I focused on puzzles. So there are quite a few sources which I think are pretty easily accessible. Puzzle Quant, 50 challenging problems in probability, and lots of other I think standard books for puzzles. And yeah, so puzzles pretty much cover quant. And for the systems role, I learned OS. I tried learning CS220, and I would recommend people to learn networks as well. I had not covered it personally, but yeah, it's pretty recommended for the systems role in HFC.
What
And
were the
for the
resources that you used for like preparing?
yeah, I already I think mentioned a few. So I used leak code for DSA problems, and for the puzzles I used 50 CP. I used Puzzle Quant, Brainstellar also, and I think yeah, Zinpings have also I used. I don't really remember the exact book name, but yeah, I think this covers it all pretty much.
So, like, did you practice specifically for interviews also? Like, how important is it practicing for the interviews? Did you practice by taking mock interviews or with your friends?
So I personally did not specifically practice for the interviews. Like I mostly focused on the coding and the test and but yeah, I would definitely recommend people to like give like maybe 4 to 5 mock interviews before giving the actual interview. It might help in case you uh, lose your thoughts in between. Like it's important to communicate during the interview, even if you don't get the answer. You can just share your thought process with the interviewer so that they can know that you're not exactly completely blank for the role. So it helps a lot. Yeah.
During our interview process, were there any questions like which got you off guard, and how did you tackle it? Like, how did you handle the pressure?
Yeah, so there were definitely a few questions which did catch me off guard, and yeah, one or two rejections also because of that. But overall, the interviews are pretty helpful. So usually they try to guide you towards the right direction. For one question, I remember that I had the answer wrong. I think it was in the Da Vinci interview as well. So the interviewer asked me that, would you like to update your strategy? Then I thought for a while, and then he said, what if I told you that there does exist a better strategy? So I used that into information, and yeah, I just updated my strategy, and I gave a fair value of what I thought the solution should be. And yeah, roughly. So if the interview is telling you something, then it's actually good to maybe take that feedback and work on it. So it helps when you're caught off guard by the question specialist.
Oh, okay, so like we should consider interviewer as a mentor, not as well as actual question here is trying to test us out.
I mean, it depends. Honestly, like it also depends on the interview. I would say, like some interviews are a bit helpful, and they try giving you hints. So I think mostly you'll have to judge on the basis of the interview itself. If they're trying to guide you to the right direction, then take it. And yeah, otherwise, if you're fairly confident on your solution, then you should just stick with it. Yeah.
Also, like as we know that for quant roles, like competitive programming is like highly recommended and very important, even considered. Like, so what is your opinion on that? How much was it considered for your case?
I mean, so like, yeah, competitive programming is a skill which quant companies do look for, and I would highly recommend people to, yeah, that you should prepare and, maybe like do competitive programming on a regular basis if you are preparing for quant, especially for students from non CSE batch. Like competitive programming does highlight your resume quite a bit, but you'll have to start early on as well. Like for me, I started in my first year itself, so that's how it helped me during my intern season as well as my placement season. But yeah, so that's what I'll highly recommend competitive programming.
So, like during the interview process, there is a lot of pressure from like around the from our family and from the like rejections and all. So, how did you recommend students? What would you recommend students to stay calm and confident during the placement season?
So personally, I think for me at least, I did not really share the my interviews or my how my interviews were going or my with my family. So I did not really feel pressure from my family, I would say. But yeah, I would say that you should maybe hold off on informing your family if you feel that they'll have a negative reaction. Then you should probably try and keep it to yourself. And if you think that that they will support you morally, then I would suggest, yeah, then you should definitely tell them, like, and everyone needs moral support during the placement season. There's a lot of like rejections. I've seen a lot of friends go through a lot of rejections, and morale hits very rock bottom. But I would say, yeah, you should always talk to your friends during the placement season, during the interviews, in between the interviews. Your friends really help you out, and they help you in other ways also, like help you cope with your rejections. They listen to you rant about your rejections, and overall, yeah, I would say friends and family, they're mostly usually a positive. Uh, they usually have a positive impact during the interview, during the placement season.
Also, like as you have been working in quant, so like it is pretty evident that the time management is also a very important factor. Also during the placement season, it is. So like, how did you juggle your time between different? Like, you did start pretty early, but there might be people who are starting late, so they have a question in their mind that is it uh, like they can they also do well, or how should they manage their time?
So like I think like people have a fairly good idea after the intern season on what quant companies usually look for. So if you feel like if you were trying to get a quant intern, for example, and you were not able to, then I would say that, I mean, you can start early, right? After the intern season itself, you can start there. I have friends who started sort of preparing for placement in a sense after the intern season as well. So, but yeah, even if you're starting late, I would still recommend. I mean, so it's not like a race. You basically have to do whatever best you can. So, like, be it coding, be it learning systems, OS, or be it learning machine learning or whatever your interests lie in. So it's never too late, and you should just like focus on giving your best rather than looking at the person beside you and like seeing that, oh, he has a POR, oh, he has higher CPI, or stuff like that. You should like mostly focus on your own prep. And regarding time, I mean, yeah, I think people have a fairly good idea of how they can best utilize their own time. And if you, as long as you just go through with all your plans, I would say that you will be able to achieve pretty much what you set yourself out to do.
Also, since you mentioned the point of POR, so like, was it considered important in your in the process of your like selection or screening, maybe?
Uh, for quants, so I would say POR do not really matter, but for maybe like consulting, maybe even some software roles, like they talk about your POR in the interview. But overall, I would say that uh, I would, I mean, POR are separate from placement. It's mostly, I think, for your own enjoyment, what you do. Like if you enjoy participating in a club, then yeah, I would recommend you to do that. But not from a placement perspective. Yeah.
So
So
like
like finally, if we look back at if you look back at the entire process you have been through during the placement time, do you believe there was something you could have done differently, or like is there something you regret not doing, or is there something you found like okay, I did this pretty it was pretty helpful what I did, anything different, you know?
I mean, honestly, no, right? Because I would say that, yeah, I tried my best. Like, regardless of wherever I ended up, I would definitely say that I tried my best and I did not really leave any stone unturned. Like, I set out and achieved whatever I wanted to, like, even during the prep and as well as during the interview process. So, yeah, I won't say that I have any regrets regarding the placement season.
Like that's a pretty great mindset. Like thank you for the interview. I think we are done now.
All right,
So
all right.
yeah, thank you Tushar for your time, and we had a great time with you. Thank you.
Yeah, all right.